Welcome to Trading Lounge and the US stocks for Monday. So it's NVDA and Alphabet and Netflix. So they've all got the same little pattern that's occurring at the moment, and that particular pattern, what I'm talking about, is this little move down through here. It's the same in the S&P 500, Nasdaq and so on in many other markets. So it's a small corrective move that we're only halfway through at this stage. So we'll have a look at it, but as I mentioned, it's pretty much standard through most of the markets. In this case here, we're looking at from wave 2 low, we're looking at wave 1 and 2 here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for 1 and 2 here, and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here. It's a little bit small that. We may even have to go to this one for the wave 3, but then that would leave us with an overlapping wave structure here at wave 4. So we'll see how we go with that. The other point here too, that if this is going to pull back, then this is the 38.2% retracement level at this level here, which is from this wave 2 low here to wave 3 here. So we're only it doesn't have to pull all the way back down here. We just need to be mindful of that. But let's go into the just go straight from the 4-hour chart here to the tick chart here. So what we're looking for here is that we can see we've got 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 down here for wave A, and this one here seems to consist of 3 waves here, so we need to be a little bit mindful here. So an A wave, a B wave and a C wave here, so 5 waves up of 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. Now if this just drops straight down here, then the B wave will have to be placed over here for this. I'm not that interested in getting involved in any of this just here, right? I really want this leg to finish off down wherever it's going to be down in this wave C or 4 here. There should be some sort of relationship between the length of wave A here and wave C here for this. So I'll just put that here for the time being. Now the other thing I want to say here is that if this market moves straight up, well then a nice tested support on the 365 or the 370 would be the catalyst and the trigger for the upside at that point. Okay, so in terms of getting the right corrective, the right pattern to go to the upside, we need something like this at the level. So at say at 365 or 370, we'd need to see the market arrive there, flicker around and do its thing, and then eventually find support on the level. That's what we'd be looking for. Okay, nice tested support after a nice correction here. So that said, let's move on to the next stock, which we can look at as Alphabet, Google. Here, let me find it. There we go. So I'm putting this in the same fish pond as well in terms of a wave 4 and the same pattern here. The 38.2% retracement level is down lower through here. And this market hasn't really finished off very nicely either to the upside. So I'm a little bit, I'm not going to worry too much about where it drops back into here, but we could be looking at this wave 4 here, but we should see some sort of same length here. So down here for the A wave, then the little A, B, and I can't draw on this side of the price here, but coming back up to that 1430 area there, and then having a move down from that point in 5 waves down here. So we'll keep an eye on this. That's the funny thing in the with the markets. It's like there's no trades, and then suddenly there's so many trades you just don't know which one to choose. So I think it's going to be a little bit like that through all of this. So we're just waiting for a deeper pullback in amongst all of this here. So just going back to the say 4-hour chart on this. So yeah, we're just not ready there just yet, and I thought this we should be finishing up into this level here. I mean, it's such a small wave here. I'm just a bit sort of concerned about that there as well. But I have to go with the best fit all the time. So maybe this wave 3 is just sitting over here for this. I'll do some more work on that in the off hours there. But this would be the wave 4 of 1 lesser degree, all the same. So there should be some equality between this move down, back, and down again here. So once this, let's just say that the market moves up to, back up to this point and then drops, then, because if we're going to go long, it would be this one here, and then after this retest here, then it would be this one here. And then we'll be looking for 5 waves down into this section down through here. And if you can count those, well, then we could go buying off here. But if you're unsure, then we wait for the classic trading levels pattern to play out the closest largest number, which would be 14 here, as such. And then we can just take these highs out here for this and then move up into that space there, because we've got to be careful that there's something not deeper happening in all of these markets as well. So we want to be trading with the trend, and we're considering this a pullback, but at the same time we want a nice foundation, nice support to build off, and not to be greedy. You can get in on the turn if you know what you're doing. You could probably use this pattern on the 1350 if the market traded below that there. So let's move on and have a look at Netflix. So Netflix is here, the same situation is happening here as well, but in this particular instance here, we never made a new high with this market, so we're a little bit trapped in here. So I'm looking at this being wave A here, then an A and a B and a C wave here for the B wave. Now, this is only confirmed if we take this low out here. If we take this low out here, then this will be correct. And when this comes down here, because we'd be looking for 5 waves here, if I could just draw this out here, and that would be 3 here, 4 would bounce off that, 5 would just poke a little bit below that, then come back up and find support here, and then we can look to build in long again over here for this, or stay in the trade. I think it's just worth staying in here at the moment, because this can just build to the upside here as well. It could just continue from this low here, because this is probably a bit below the 61.8% from this low to this high here, but possibility of it moving up in terms of an A and a B and a C is possible. So we'll just see how that plays out there. So we won't move out of this just yet. If this level down here becomes the retested resistance, then we'll move out of this trade. But otherwise we'll stay in it. We'll just ride this through here. I don't think there's no point in just taking a loss just yet, while we're viewing all of this as a bullish structure in the bigger picture. That's the good thing about trading with the trend as well, because if you do make a mistake, you can just give it a little bit of time, and the demand will pick you up and carry you to the shore. So yeah, let's just allow this to play. The other point here to make is that, may have already done this here, the length of this here should be roughly the length of this one over here. So that's why we want to see it. It's nice. It's good when I see a market come down below the level. I like that, because it's check and demand, and then it can, go back up at that point and then sit on this level, and then we can use these highs to move higher from that point. Any short trade from that point would be, once we've got a clear understanding of the first move below the level here, well, then that's where our stop would be here, and also that's where a short trade would be. But we just want to see this play out here. And in fact, we're expecting some of the stocks and so on to push up first before they push down. So we may just end up getting a little bit more complicated through all of this as well. So we'll just sit this out and see how it plays out at that. I think that's all I've really got to say at this stage with all of this. This is how it plays out here in a way. So wave 3 here, an A wave here, an A and a B and a C wave here. Now, and then 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here. If you're long in this market, you may not want to hold through all of this, but otherwise we'll just hold through. The support down through here will be group 2, so that's 80, 65 and 72 in here, 372 in here. So the market should stay in that space there if we're in a bullish market. All right, that's it. So I will leave it at that. Thanks for tuning in. Cheers.